Why, hello there, and welcome to another episode of the Digital Quill Podcast with your weird and wild host, Mars Wilson. It's a pleasure to meet you today if we've never met before. And if you're back for another episode, I have more for you in store. I don't know, I didn't script that. I was going off the top of my head. God, haven't you been here before? Don't you know how we do things around here? We don't stick to things very well. We're like monkeys who fling things at things. I don't have an editor who can edit my swears yet for general audience friendly purposes, but maybe one day. Hi there. Hi. Welcome on into another episode of the Digital Quill Podcast. I'm your host, Mars Wilson. This is a podcast where time is very important. And speaking of time, I like trying to teach, inspire, motivate, or entertain. Mostly entertain, because that's let's be honest, the easiest thing to do, right? Welcome on in. Hi. How are you? When I ask that question, I mean that genuinely, not in such the way where I don't actually want to know how you are or what you're up to. I don't care if it's nothing. I'm used to doing nothing. So let me know. Let me live vicariously through your doing nothing again, because I can't not do nothing now. I took a week off and I was still sitting there doing social media stuff when I told myself I wouldn't. I was sitting there doing other work stuff for my side projects and stuff that I was like, Mars, we're not going to do anything but what we have to this week. The absolute bare minimum. You've been going so hard and you've been burning yourself out. You're crabby. You're mean again. Stop that. And, the week off was necessary, but I was still working, and I'm like, I can't do nothing. I can't just do nothing. That TikTok challenge that's been going on, where people set up their phone and they film themselves doing nothing with no food, no substances, nothing, and I mean nothing, for 30, 40 minutes. Have you guys ever tried 13 hours? 20 hours? Doing nothing, no food, nothing, hours? Yeah, well, if you've ever had really bad depressive episodes, you might understand what that feels like sometimes. I don't really need to do that trend, though just to relive what it felt like to do nothing, I might want to. I don't know why I'm talking about nothing so much. Maybe it's because we talk about everything in so many other ways. I wish I could highlight that word when I say it, everything, because it's part of the human condition in a way. I do play a game called Everything, from every minor cell to the smallest cell thing to the biggest possible macro cell. I think I'm using the right words. I want to be a linguist, but I don't. With the way I butcher pronunciation and trip and stumble over S's, I don't know, man. Can I? I mean, I'm definitely a linguist. I have such an appreciation for language and communication itself. It's why I started this show. But yeah. Which I guess brings me to the first main topic. The main topic of today's episode. Goals over resolutions. I run a podcast now. Hi, that's what you're listening to. And I've decided, since gaming is a hobby of mine, and I don't want to feel like I'm gaming for nothing, and gaming is such a niche topic online. There's Twitch streamers and YouTube streamers and Let's Plays and game tutorials and game design and developers, and there's a lot to the gaming world. So many things you can sink your teeth into. And it's definitely a niche. I think for me it's too broad of a niche to make it a niche. That's why I'm doing gaming Let's Plays and some emphasis on some live streaming. Lately I've been live streaming Dreamlight Valley, and Minecraft. Just those two things for now, I think. Yeah, pretty much. Wow, see, look at that. Want to be a linguist and I can't even keep my thoughts together. I can. Today's a slow morning. And I wanted to record a podcast today and I was like tired and I didn't have what I wanted to prepare ready. So I decided in a last minute decision, that was too many words, that I would just smorgasbord it. Just lay it all out there, lay it on thick, lay on the inspiration and the motivation and the entertainment, because who doesn't like a little bit of candlelight when it's raining and it's cozy and you're not really trying to be super serious business all the time, because sometimes you are and sometimes you will be and sometimes you're gonna have to be, because some of the topics you're gonna want to talk about aren't going to allow you to wear cozy panda cow onesie things or sit by creamy vanilla swirl candlelight that was gifted to you for your birthday. I think this was my candle birthday gift, which is a very nice candle. Comes in handy for a day like today. And you're playing a cozy game, trying to get yet another slow upload to upload. And you're tired because it's the end of the year. You're compartmentalizing your goals over your resolutions because you have a whole list of goals, from life to work to finances to relationships, both current and going forward. You have skills you want to adapt to, things that would help you with your Let's Plays and your podcasts and your public speaking and your event creating. It's funny. I'm only now putting into definitions and boxes and molds of my own making, mind you, not molds of other people's making, because that's not how we do things at the Quill. The Quill may be a world project because I like asking for stories and getting guests on here and stuff like that, because human condition. But like, the Quill is me. And that's why I hate calling it a brand, because it's not a brand. And while I have to call it a brand going forward, I hope you guys know that this isn't just a brand. What I'm going to be working on is going to be for this. I'm going to be working on my communication skills. It's not that I'm going to stop stumbling and stuttering. I'm going to stop stumbling and stuttering when it counts. Right now, whatever. But sometimes, to me, it counts. That's what I'm going to work on. Because you see me on here sometimes rolling my eyes at myself like, damn it. Trying to like readjust my facial features when I'm with a person in video format or in person format. And I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably have an expression. I'm working on that. Mostly for myself. I don't think you really care all that much about that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't help the product, the videos, the content, the whatever, if I am not confident and comfortable with it myself. And there's actually a quote on my wall, and I talked about it in my TikTok video affirmation this morning. And I was like, that quote needs to change. The quote is, just because I am comfortable with myself doesn't mean I am confident with myself. I think the quote should actually read, just because I have confidence in myself doesn't mean I'm comfortable with myself. I don't know if that makes sense. So let me try to explain, because this does tie into goals over resolutions, which is something I think we talked about earlier this week, and we've talked about before, and we'll talk about until our ears and face turn purple. I think the quote was born out of some form of confidence. I'm not saying it is great confidence. I still slip up. And that annoys me, because I'm like, I see where it is. I see the mountain of confidence that I need to get to. I'm like kind of on it already. I'm already on the mountain of confidence, but I'm not at the peak. That's an interesting visual. Huh. I wish I could project my visual thoughts onto a screen. That'd be cool, because then it would be so much easier to explain and be like, see, this is it. This is the vision. I hate it. It plagues me. Anyway. That quote was born out of some form of confidence in myself. I thought it was me being comfortable with myself. I thought I was like, comfortable with myself, but I'm not confident in myself. I think it was actually reversed. I think it is confidence. I think it's minimal confidence. It's confidence like a muscle that needs to grow. And I think I've paved the pathway for that one, maybe. See, do you hear it? You hear it, right? You hear it. I'm almost there. Just slippery boulder, one slippery boulder after another. At least the harness thing is on tight, because it's a long way back down there. Yeah, I think I need to now become comfortable with my confidence. That was a bodily reaction. That was a physical emotion. Okay, yeah, that's a thing to work on. Noting that down, and that goes into the plan of action for the goals over. Welcome to the nonsense show. It's nonsense. It's all nonsense around here. I don't have a hat, so I have to either flap my ears or pick up the cap. Also, I don't know where it needs to rest on my head. I like it here. But you know. Also, if you're not listening to the video feed of this episode, I'm sorry. You won't understand. It's okay, though. It's okay not to understand things sometimes. I say that as a tear leaks down my face. No, I'm kidding. No tear leaked down my face. There was no podcast hosts hurt in the making of this. I can't say that. There was plenty of hurt. Let me share my hurt with you. But more than that, much, much more than that, as a matter of fact, I'm tired of sharing my hurt. That's why I like having guests on. Share your hurt with me. With us. With the Quill family. There's a few of us that don't mind listening to pain. And don't mind grieving with you and holding space for you in that sorrow. So, yeah. I think what I am getting at goals-wise and confidence-wise and quote-wise and comfortable-wise is what I need to work on to really make this successful. Not just for myself, but also for the people that I want to make it successful for. Is I need to be comfortable stepping into those community leader roles. I need to be comfortable stepping into the light a little bit and guiding that light to the people that need it. There's a lot of reflection and mental and emotional and physical work even that needs to go into what comes next. So if you see me testing some things out and trying to lean into myself more, one of my instincts is to say I'm sorry. But I'm not. I'm not sorry for leaning into me more. I'm not sorry for leaning into the digital quill of things more, because this is the human condition. And if I'm going to be preaching about the human condition and how to live life, or how to live a life you love and live a life you want to live powerfully, and all of those things that we've covered in prior episodes, I need to own that for me too. A lot harder than I have been letting myself. And I think getting to a point where that's okay for me, ish, it's almost okay. It's almost okay. But the point is, and the theme for the last couple of weeks has been, you only get one life. And a lot of things can happen that take away your tomorrow, or make tomorrow look very different than what it is right now. Nickelback, I think it's Nickelback, has a song out called If Today Was Your Last Day. I don't think it's Nickelback, actually. I pay $175 a month for this. I'm gonna use it real quick. I'm sorry. I pay $175 for this, and I can do more than just take calls and texts. So, that's right. It is not really something I need to look up on Google. If today was... It is Nickelback. I was right. Go figure. Of course I was right. I know music. Give me like the first 3 to 5 seconds of most of the songs on my playlists, and I will probably be like, oh, it's that. Unless, of course, you're doing that new thing nowadays where certain sound bites are being reused over and over again. Different problem for a different subject. We will have music conversations. I'm planning some stuff for 2026, and I really hope some people are on board, because I have some things in mind that are going to need me to involve other people instead of just soloing it or solo duoing it. And I hope I'm ready for that. I hope my equipment is ready for that. That might be a problem. I might need to figure out how to... That might not be that much of a problem, actually. I think for every problem I have 100 solutions. This is fine. It's fine. We're good. Crisis averted. Yep, that felt good to think about and figure out almost immediately. Wow. Okay. Whatever, 2026 is going to be a drop in the bucket for what I have next. Just for myself and for this in general. I don't even remember where I was, and I don't care. I was looking up a song. If today was your last day, what would you want to do with it? What friend would you want to call on the phone? What person would you want to go hang out with? If today was your last day and you knew tomorrow at 9 a.m. it was over. You woke up in a new world, a new reality, a new body. You didn't wake up at all. Would you want to have started that show that you talked about? Start writing that play. Start talking to that person. Start hanging out with those friends again. I'm asking you right here, the one listening to this, you who can't smell this candle, but I can. You who I know has the capability and capacity to do one small thing. One tiny little thing. Just one. To make today better than yesterday. Name that one tiny thing in the comments below. Because that one tiny thing might help someone else. Let me give you 5 tiny things that help me. Here are 5 tiny things that help me when I'm having a bad day. I put on my favorite comfort show. I don't care what it is. My favorite comfort show is My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. All right? I put on that freaking show and I never stop watching an episode with a frown on my face. My mood is lifted. Why? Because the colors are cute and the lessons in friendship are nice and it's a good cartoon. It's a really good cartoon. I'll stand by that. Number 2, if I'm having a bad day and that show didn't work for some reason, which it rarely doesn't work. I must be really going through it if it doesn't work. I talk to someone, anyone, absolutely anyone. It could be a complete internet stranger that I will never speak to ever again because it's a random chat room or something. I speak to one person about my woes. And usually, most of the time, after a running conversation back and forth, people are pretty nice about holding space sometimes, especially strangers who have no real connection or reason to connect with you. One human. Use your internet. You're on it right now. That's why I created the Dear Mars 2023 email. I will reach out, especially if in the subject box you put emergency. It could be caps, could be little lowercase, I don't care. If it's an emergency and you are really struggling and you really need a friend, I am usually checking my emails for work anyway. I'll respond to those as priority. That's your thing. But if I can't get to it immediately because I'm sleeping or something, one internet human, one stranger, one chat room, one Omegle, one something. Use your sources and also be safe. Don't give out personal information. Like location and stuff like that. Any identifiable information, unless you absolutely know this person, you know. So, one stranger. Unload your BS onto. Most of the time people are willing to do that because most people have been in a dark place once or twice. Maybe not as dark as yours. Who knows? Who cares how dark their place has been? Just know that other people have been in dark places too, and they will hold your hand a little bit if you reach out. Just reach out. That's something I've done. So that's 2. 3. I know it's gonna sound counterproductive, but sometimes I let myself rest. Like I let myself just sleep or relax. But like I do it with intention. I say, okay, I'm gonna let myself rest because I'm tired mentally, emotionally, physically, whatever. I'm sad, it's heavy, I need to rest. But I give myself a set period because if I don't, my brain and my body and my mind will let me sleep for 15, 20, 30 hours. I can't let it do that. Life continues. I have to eventually try to get back into the flow of things. I do let myself rest. I do let myself feel that weight but I set a time limit on it before I let it drown me. I say 12 hours, no more. And sometimes I'll do that over a couple of periods of days. But then by that, X amount of days or X amount of hours, I'm like, okay, now it's time to do something small, like shower or do some chores. Or, because sometimes picking up a dirty space will start to get your mind in the flow of, okay, it's time to purge and release these negative feelings, these bad thoughts, organizing a drawer, stuff like that. And sometimes with executive function, it's hard to get into the flow of. That's why I try to assess in the moment, like, what small activity I can do, like start by some picking up, not deep cleaning. Like, okay, there's a can right here and there's a bag right there. Let me put these two things together. That's it, And then I kind of try to mosey through a little bit more. It's a simpler form of just get moving, It's more manageable. You walk yourself through the steps. I think I'm on 4. Human interaction. Comfort show. Let's see. Then there was the kind of get moving, the allowing yourself to rest, but setting a time limit on it, and then get moving after that time period. And then I kind of just do the things. I've never had to list them out like this, just point blank. I'm putting myself on the spot here, but let's see. Especially the things that have like more of like a higher ratio of working out for myself. I'm trying to list those instead of just the small minuscule things that help. Sorry. A low energy activity, maybe like reading, watching a show. I already said that one at the beginning. Doing a puzzle, a board game, a little game, like a short game. Though low energy activities can be subjective. And I guess that would fall into category 3 of after that period of rest. Meh. I guess the last thing, and this is actually kind of like the important thing to me in a way, is food. So like, I don't mean like my hot chips that I like eating or my junk food. I mean like actually good home cooked meals. Like a real home cooked meal that has love poured into it, and like the flavoring and the pretty much country cooking, but with actual flavoring and not non-seasoning, because some country cooking anyway. Home cooked meals, that's like another way, like the warmth of it for some reason can like melt my my frozen vessel of a, don't worry about it. Running out of steam. So I am going to probably bid you farewell soon. Because who doesn't like a little bit of forbidding farewell, or I don't know. Again, I'm running out of steam, so I'm running out of entertainment options here. I like the lighting effects though. Well, thank you for joining me on another weird and nonsensical episode of the Digital Quilt Podcast. I hope you'll consider being a guest in the future. We can talk about nonsensical things, but also your projects, your stories, anything. Thank you for sharing your time with me and letting me share my time with you. And I will see you next time. As always, humans of Earth, keep going. Don't stop. Remember to breathe and drink water. And I will see you for episode 89 or 90. I think we're on 90 now, because this is 89. 90. Dang. Have a spooky November. It's almost over. That means winter is amongst us, finally. I love winter. I love fall very much. The colors are just amazing. But winter, I'm a winter person. Anything but summer. I mean, I love beaches and I love pool vibes, but like, I'm versatile and I wish I wasn't sometimes. Be safe, keep going, and I will see you next time. Bye.